Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. So let's go have a look at the gold mining stocks now. And I just want to bring up the chart where we have just nothing on the screen apart from volume. And the really interesting thing that I'm noticing with gold mining stocks is when will this gap, you see this gap up here, so right? So I'm looking at the GDX right now, or the GDXJ right now. And I bring up the last 3 months and you can see how there's a bit of a gap here. The question is, when will this gap be filled? This gap will be filled. The question is, when will that gap be filled? And so that's always the hard thing, right? So we want to see whether we do start to pick up from here or whether we continue to roll over because the buyers are not looking too good here. Because we had this big strong move down and the buyers are struggling. We're not getting any strong bounce at all when it comes to the GDXJ there. Also looking at the GDX as well too, we can see that the GDX, we had this sort of nice sort of gap through here once again. So the gap will be filled. Whether we have another leg down, then turn around and come back up and have that as well too. It will be filled, but when it comes to the overall strength of gold and silver, the gold mining stocks, I'm starting to have a look at this from a bit more of a fresher eyes. And I can see that just by looking at this here on a overall sort of short-term basis, I can see that the last significant low was right here. We actually broke that low by a little bit, which again, once again, is not a strong sign. If you look at gold, gold and silver is doing the exact same thing, right? We had this move down and now we're just going sideways and we broke that low. So if I bring up my charts with the moving average, the 20 moving average, a 20 moving average gives you a bit of a gauge of momentum as well too. You can see that we actually had this last significant higher low through here. And then now what's happened is that we had a rally up, we've had a rally down, and now we're just going sideways overall. That's actually not a very good positive sign. We don't want to see we don't want to see this thing roll over and start to break a new low from this low of 33.50 on the GDX, because if it does, then we could start to, let's actually open this chart a bit more. We could start to head probably back down towards these lows back here, which is around that sort of 31 level. Again, guys, this is just a short-term technical analysis. It doesn't mean it's definitely going to, but if we do break these lows, then we're probably likely to see another strong leg down because we've got a strong move down, not much going on right now, and a strong moving average coming down. That means that there's a lot of strong momentum on the downside with this, with the gold mining sector, at least on, or should I say, at least on the GDX as well too. Not all gold mining stocks, but on the GDX there. And you can see that that's what's happening. If I go to the GDXJ, you can also see the exact same thing as well too, right? We had this move down and we're just getting a little bit of a sideways movement through here. Not really much going on through here. We're getting a bit of a strong moving average coming down. So it's very sort of, if we do get a bit of free fall, we've got actually, the GDXJ has actually got a pretty strong support level just below that. So it's going to be really hard to see. We're not getting really anything too clear through here. But once again, we do have that gap to be filled, whether that turns around now or not. But looking at the GDX actually has a bit more of a clearer picture, as in like a lot more sideways movement, and then and also a bit more of a space, a bit more room to run if it does free fall down towards those lower levels there. So there we go, guys. Bit short term on a technical basis there. It's not whether we like it or not. It's about just being open-minded and just being flexible with what is happening right now in the markets and reading them properly.